This is genuinely the cruelest social experiment that was ever aired on television.
If the world ended tomorrow, would you be happy with how you've lived your life?
Leon is still inside! Hang on, what?
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. What would you do if you woke up one day alone and you truly believed that the world had ended? And that everybody that you'd ever loved was gone forever? Probably would put a dampener on me day, not gonna lie. Well, that's exactly what a man called Derren Brown set out to test on television in the most controversial psychological experiment that has ever been created, in my opinion. Derren Brown Apocalypse. Now, if you don't know who Derren Brown is, he isn't just like a typical magician that does little tricks. He is like the final boss of psychological manipulation. He's an expert in suggestion, in hypnosis, and misdirection, and just human behavior in general. He's able to influence how people feel, what people do. The guy is genuinely terrifying. Like, I wouldn't want to be this bloke's mate. I just don't feel like I can trust him. And one of his major skills is making people believe things that aren't real. And he really took this to the next level when he decided to do Apocalypse, as he went further than he'd ever went before. Now, the premise of this is to basically convince one ordinary person that the world has ended and an apocalypse is now happening with loads of zombies running around, and to see how this person would react in this scenario. Now, this wasn't just a prank they decided to do on the day. This was actually a carefully engineered process that involved several months of psychological setup to get this person in a position where they would believe the end of the world was actually happening. This experiment cost millions of pounds in production. There's also several hundred actors in it, all designed to push this one person to their absolute limit, testing their fear, their morality, their survival instincts, and see whether they can break this person or if they will actually be changed for the better forever. Now, in this video, we're going to cover the nearly 2 hours of footage uploaded of this experiment, why they chose the person they chose, how this person would actually go through so much trauma in this experiment, surviving a terrifying hospital sequence, to battling hundreds of zombies that they think are real, to a violent shift in the episode that makes the participant utterly confused. And we're also going to see if this person is actually successful in navigating a real world apocalypse. And throughout this video, we're also going to talk about the ethical part of this documentary and whether, you know, they should have actually have done this and what was the reason for actually doing this in the first place. And at the end of this video, we're also going to talk about where the participant that took place in this experiment is today and the dramatic way that it changed his life forever. Honestly, donuts, I think this is going to be the most mental video that we've ever done on this channel, and the ending will just blow you away. Genuinely, I'm so excited to get into this. Let's do it. Derren begins the episode saying they need to find a subject that lives a very self-centered life and doesn't care about the people around them, so that this experiment can truly change their lives. He's very nice like that, Derren, bless him, going out of his way to help people become better people. So Derren decided to have a casting call for an unspecified show, obviously not giving the game away this early, in the hopes that they find the perfect candidate for this experiment. Now, hundreds of people went through vigorous tests to find somebody that matched the personality that they were looking for and were also susceptible to being hypnotized. A very specific person we're after here. And also, just in the T's and C's, somebody that is also mentally strong enough to deal with this scenario. I'm unsure how you kind of evaluate if somebody is mentally strong enough to survive an apocalypse, but hey, here we go. We survived COVID. We can do anything, right? High five, guys. I don't know why I'm high-fiving you. High five. We beat COVID. Yes. And the way that he kind of conveys this information is so eerie. Like, look at the way this is set out.
If the world ended tomorrow, would you be happy with how you've lived your life? Would you have done yourself justice? Or would you have just let it pass you by?
See, this is the type of guy that you meet in a nightclub that you just can't get away from, man. I don't even know you. Why are you asking all these deep questions, Derren? Buy us a drink and piss off. Now, after Derren tells us all this information, we actually meet the perfect candidate. He is a 21-year-old called Stephen.
I'm lazy. I'm more or less irresponsible. I've never put my head down and just done what I want to do.
Oh, what a horrible, horrible man. Send him to the apocalypse. If there's one thing that would really change this guy's life, it's seeing someone walk around like this. This is going to make him a millionaire after this. So since Stephen was the perfect candidate to take part in this, they actually told him that he'd failed the casting. So he basically had no clue what was going on and wouldn't realise that he's on a TV show. As you do, you know, just manipulating him straight away, this innocent man. It's also hilarious that they've picked him because in his intro thing, he was saying, like, I normally don't try with things because I don't want, like, the feeling of failing. This man is never going to go out of his comfort zone ever again after this. Now, several weeks later, Derren and his team actually secretly put cameras in Stephen's house. I think they got permission from, like, his family or something, so that they could observe his day-to-day life and just learn a little bit more about him.
Tidies up after him, she does his washing for him.
Fruit, sir? It's always a chore to get anything out of him.
So his mother's calling him sir. She's definitely playing up to the cameras here. You know, to be fair, love, you've turned your back on your audience. So, rule number 1 of stage school, you failed as well. We'll put you in the apocalypse as well, love. What happens when you both get hungry? One of you are going to have to eat each other. Getting too far now. Should have stopped. Should have quit while I was ahead.
Mum and Dad might be sitting down watching TV and he'll come in and just change the channel.
You know what? I've actually seen enough. I think we should just euthanize him. I think we should take him to a state that allows for, like, a lethal injection, and let's just go ham on him. I don't think it's cruel enough putting this man in an apocalypse. He walks into a room and changes the channel when people are watching the telly. Is this the spawn of Satan? I've never wanted a zombie to eat someone so much in my life.
I'd love him to appreciate me. I'd love him to love me more, because sometimes I feel he doesn't love me.
So you can very clearly see that his mother, like, I don't think she hates him. I think she definitely loves him, but she's so frustrated with the way that, you know, he kind of takes advantage of her, which is understandable. I imagine a lot of mothers watching this have also felt the same way at one point. But I also don't think any of you have thought about putting this man in a life-altering position to fix that. How about a conversation? You know, remember words? They sometimes work. Not making this man scavenge and possibly eat human feces for food.
Can't really handle his drink.
See Stephen in full flow, I got one of his mates to film him on a typical night out.
We sort of take it in turns of looking after him.
I love that everyone in his life is so pissed off with him. Clearly this man is like the least independent person ever. Like, he always needs someone to look after him, even though he's well capable of looking after himself, or should be. But I'm also worrying, like, at the end of this episode, is this guy even going to want to spend any time with the people who were around him before the apocalypse after this? Like, you wouldn't be able to trust anybody in your life.
Stephen's had several jobs, most of which his mum's found for him, and none of which is stuck out for very long.
Got trained to be an oven cleaner.
Also, is that bloke really 21? He looks like older than me, man. 21? What? I'm not trying to be harsh here. The bloke looks like he's about 40. He looks like he's divorced. The bloke looks like he queues up outside a Ladbrokes on a Saturday, man.
I'm not leaving the owner!
This is so true.
The owner!
Bro. As you can see, we keep getting, like, teasers of what's to come. This looks like it's going to be absolutely drastic. I am not looking forward to the actual apocalypse. I don't even know how they're going to convince him at this point. Now, after watching this footage for about 6 or 7 weeks... No, I'm not going to do it. Sorry, guys. No, I'm not going to. I stopped myself, okay? Derren and his team agree that Stephen is definitely the perfect candidate for this. Like, they think he's an awful human. He doesn't appreciate anyone. Bearing in mind, the guy is only 21, apparently. So at this point, 6 weeks before the actual apocalypse needs to take place, Derren and his team are, like, drip-feeding information to Stephen subconsciously about a possible apocalypse happening, just to make him, like, kind of believe it, which I do understand, because if someone just went to me, oh, tomorrow's an apocalypse, you're not going to believe it, are you? I need a few signs, okay? I need to be warmed up. I'm not getting called into an apocalypse. Now, one of the first methods they do to accomplish this is Stephen's brother actually steals Stephen's phone so that Derren and his team can, like, implant fake stories on it, and also just hack it in general. Again, just a slight invasion of privacy there. It's fine, though, you know, because we're going to make this guy a better person. I feel like everybody who was in production of this show needs to also go in the apocalypse as well, if that's the whole goal of it.
Replace our own content, our own pictures.
And that just sits there within the news app.
As if it's supposed to be there.
Surely this is illegal. It has to be illegal. Surely this makes them criminals, no? I remember feeling like a criminal in school when I allegedly got my iPhone jailbroken. I remember having every single app for free and thinking I was like Charles Bronson. Good times. Good job I never told anybody that, otherwise this could have been me in the apocalypse. Now, just to really make sure that Stephen's whole world is getting encapsulated right now, they also hack his computer for good measure. As you do, you might as well do them all at one time, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. And the plan they're going to use to convince Stephen is that there's like a meteor shower that's coming to Earth. And obviously, once this collides with the planet, it's going to cause the apocalypse. It seems so stupid. But you've got to remember, this was filmed in 2012, I believe. So, you know, it wasn't like today where you can just go on TikTok. And like, obviously, you can go on the internet and search stuff. But what I'm saying is it was a lot easier to kind of manipulate information if you're hacking someone's computer and phone. Now, you can tell they've really thought about how to convince Stephen, because there is a meteor shower that is actually happening. That happens every single year around this time of filming. It's called the Perseid, the Perseid. I can't pronounce it. But this meteor shower can be seen from the UK every single year. So if he kind of reads about this, he can kind of ask people, and they can also kind of be like, oh yeah, like, you know, that's just a normal thing. So it's bringing in a little bit more normality to this like extravagant situation, just so they can start planting things in his mind, basically. Now, after this, they play a radio broadcast to Stephen of the hosts talking about the meteor shower, and they even get the hosts of this radio show in on the production of the TV show to talk about the end of the world, just specifically for Stephen to hear about. So he obviously doesn't know that the only reason they've recorded the end of the world part of this broadcast is just for him.
Like a Mayan prophecy, wasn't it? I mean, they were always saying that 2012 would be the end of the world.
That's just when the calendar ends, to start all over again.
This is so gross. Brother's just trying to eat his cornflakes, man. And everyone's trying to manipulate him. Do you know what? I'm actually on Stephen's side. I don't care if he doesn't appreciate everyone around him. Everyone around him is more evil than him. Now, this has actually got me thinking, because in 2012, that actually was when people did think that the world was going to end. And that was because the Maya long count calendar ended on that year, didn't it? Like, I remember there was even a movie at the cinema called 2012 that documented the end of the world. Like, everything was like centered around 2012 finally being the time we all leave here. Just like a personal story as well. I remember like the exact date. I think it was like November or December in 2012. The calendar was meant to end and the world was going to burn. I remember on that night crying my eyes out the entire night and staying up because I really wanted to see the end of the world. Like, I didn't want to be asleep when I was going to get burned alive. But yeah, I remember crying and telling me mum that I loved her. It's kind of funny now, but at the time I was just a kid. Like, that's actually really, really sad that I was made to believe this. To be fair, I was like 13. That doesn't really make things much better, does it? I should have said I was like 7. Actually, I was 7, guys, so anyone that did laugh there, shame on you. I was a child. Wow. Should put you in the apocalypse. Laughing at the pain of children. Not a nice personality trait to have. It's alright, guys, I'm here as the nice guy to balance this out. This ship's not sinking yet. After this, we then see Derren meeting up with a scientist and TV astronomer called Mark Thompson. Now, he's going to pre-record his own segment on a TV show that Stephen usually watches, talking about the apocalypse at the end of the world. And obviously, this is only going to be shown on Stephen's telly, unknowing to him. They're really going full ham with this.
We're also just coming out at the end of the Perseid meteor shower, which happens every August.
Bro, they put it on Sunday brunch, man. He's just tuned in on a Sunday, you know, on his day off, just being like, I'm gonna watch people cook some food, and he's getting manipulated into thinking the world's ending. Bless this bloke, man.
We have found there's actually another clump of material which we didn't know about.
In theory, could we all be wiped out?
In theory, we all be wiped out.
In theory, yes. But
See, like, looking at this from an outside perspective, knowing that it's an experiment, it's very easy to be like, oh, like, you know, this isn't real. No one would ever believe this. But I don't know, you know. Like, if you're kind of, you know, getting drip-fed this for weeks and months, and then suddenly it happens, you don't know how you're going to react, honestly. It's very easy to look at Stephen and say, if he believes this, he's an idiot. But I don't think that's the case. Honestly, I think a lot of people would fall for this. Especially in 2012. I stayed up crying, man. After this, Derren also posts various social media posts on apps that Stephen uses a lot, basically, you know, kind of amplifying that the meteor strike is coming and the apocalypse is nigh.
Got a NASA one as well. NASA website?
Well, you know, if someone like NASA's talking about it, it must be something genuine.
I tell you what, the bloody family need to be looked at here. Have you seen the way that all instigated him? He's even on his own sofa, man. They don't want to be within 2 meters of the bloke. Oh my god, this isn't even a prank. I don't even think you can call this a social experiment. Surely this falls under torture. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to go through this, man. But Derren's team don't stop here. They take it one step further, where they start like messing with the electromagnetic fields. which obviously disrupts all of Stephen's electronics. Like, there's a scene where Stephen is in a cafe and a radio broadcast just starts playing.
They won't be able to communicate with planes if it carries on.
There's some disturbances and stuff with air traffic control.
My toxic trait is me saying that I wouldn't fall for this, but I'd already be gone at this point. It's the fact that the people that work there aren't even like acknowledging it. So, you know, you're not like overthinking people trying to prove something to you. It's all just registering subconsciously. It's so easy to be manipulated by this. Because to him, it's just the news. It's just what people are talking about. And at this point, I think it's fair to say that Stephen is pretty convinced that the meteor strike is coming, but we still haven't really convinced him that an apocalypse is nigh. That's the next step of the experiment. So, the day before Stephen's birthday, Stephen's brother has convinced Stephen that they have tickets to go and see the Killers in concert. So they both travel on a coach to get to the concert, and this is where things start to go horribly wrong. You can't tell the bloke that he's got tickets to see the Killers, man, and not take him there. Now, this coach is filled with actors and also Derren himself. The only person who doesn't know what is happening here is Stephen himself. Now, after a long day of travelling on this bus, the bus actually breaks down, and this is where the apocalypse starts to happen. Bro, if going on a megabus isn't already just kind of like, you know, just overwhelming in itself, travelling for long hours, you know, getting sick along the way, but also having an apocalypse on top of that, that's not the best day.
We're interrupting this programme to bring you a special news announcement.
The meteor, Swift A, is predicted to collide with the British Isles imminently.
Oh my god, curse everyone that agreed to take part in this scissor roll. You can see on his face, he is completely bemused by what is going on. And you can tell it's real because, you know, he's not like overacting or anything, or, you know, you can tell that he really is just confused what the news articles are saying. Because if this was out of the blue, he'd probably just laugh. But you've got to remember, for like 2 to 3 months prior to this, they've been drip feeding this information to him. So this is not really going to come as a surprise. Now after this, the bus does surprisingly start again, but we get to see all the meteor strikes hitting Earth. Bro, look at the fear in that man's eyes. Genuinely. Like, that is a man that knows that he's going to die today. Look at his brother as well, man, giving it the whole 9 yards, really going for it. Curse you, brother. My God. One thing I will say is the production of this is insane. Like, their meteor strikes look so real. Oh my God. Bro, this is so traumatic. This is like so insanely evil. They've hired a family to pretend that they're dying and running away from danger. Like, I understand we need to convince this bloke, but I think this is going to do a lot more harm than good. Because even at the end of this, where they hopefully tell him that this was all just a prank, I feel like he's going to have more trauma and possibly be more closeted in his own emotions than he was prior to this even happening. Because yes, he's been told it's fake, but the trauma is still very real from this. Now at this point, weirdly, Derren just springs up and puts Stephen to sleep, obviously because he's proven to be susceptible to hypnosis. He's able to do this.
That man's trying to read.
How can you just do that to someone? Is that real? Genuinely, can people, do they have them powers to do that? That is frightening. Are you telling me I could be on the bus and someone can just come up to me and go, sleep now, son? I'm actually terrified. I'm never turning my back to anybody ever again, just in case there's an expert hypnosis on board. I'm not doing this. I didn't realise I had to worry about this. Where are they going to put him? I'm so confused. Now, the reason why Derren has done this is so that they can relocate Stephen to the site of the experiment, so they have more control over what Stephen sees. Because you don't want just some random civilian walking past, walking the dog, going, what the bloody hell's he doing? I understand why they've done this bit. To you, half of the world is burning, but Royal Mail is still active. It's not really gonna like set the scene that well, is it? So they decide to take Stephen to what looks like an abandoned hospital, where he's dressed in hospital pajamas and also is put to bed.
I'm gonna put you into some pajamas. Go and get into bed.
a little bit different from your bed.
Bro, also imagine like being married to this Derren Brown guy. Like, you know, if he was just sick of you talking, he'd go, oh, fucking shut up. And then you're just asleep. Like, this must be so scary. I mean, it would be unbelievable if you were like, you know, obviously sharing a bed with this guy and you're one of them people that struggles to go to sleep. You'd just be like, love, do you mind doing your whole like spider hand on us just so I can get her? Is that all right, love? Thank you very much. It would be a gift and a curse, I guess. There's always the slight chance that he's going to put you in an apocalypse as well. But hey, he kind of keeps you on your toes, right? Some people like that. Now, Stephen is left in this hospital bed all night, and when he wakes up, this is where the real experiment begins. Wait, so have we basically just stole the opening pilot episode of The Walking Dead? He's basically Rick Grimes right now, isn't he? Like waking up in a hospital, not realising that it's an apocalypse. I don't know how I would react if this was me. Like, chances are, if it's an apocalypse, I've woke up in a hospital, I think I'd just go to bed until it's like all over. I'll be like, I'm kind of knackered anyway. I'll just kip. Hopefully, you know, I'll wake up again and everything will be sorted. I would like to know what I would be like in an apocalypse. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that you would survive? My ego says that I would survive and I'd end up being a king and probably like have like an army of zombies at my peril. But another part of me thinks that I would just die instantly on impact. Obviously, as you can see, Stephen is very confused. There is certain props that have been like planted in this hospital room that he's woke up in, such as a rotten sandwich in the corner, basically trying to say to Stephen that he's been here for quite a while. One thing I will say is everything about this experiment has been thought out to like the nth degree. Stephen then leaves this room and goes into the hospital waiting room, and he's watching like a news broadcast of the apocalypse.
It's now been 14 days since a number of meteors hit the Earth. As you know, a state of emergency is in operation throughout the United Kingdom.
Bro, he's genuinely freaking out. Like, you can see on his face, like, the terror in his eyes, like, everything going through his head. He's probably wondering about his family, his friends, his home. He's probably wondering where he is. You can see his body is going into a state of shock, and I feel like everybody else's would.
The theory is that an unknown organism carried on the rocks is the source of this current threat.
Did they really have to put the whole, like, you know, zombie apocalypse thing happening? Is like an apocalypse not just enough? Do we need to like do the whole zombie and the whole like, you know, disease thing? I feel like that's just too far, man. Can we not just have dead people like around? I really don't want to see what these zombies look like. Hopefully there isn't any. But then the broadcast goes on to explain that there's only 2 safe zones in the UK. One is in Wales and one is in Scotland, which is hilarious. You know, the nations other than England getting the last laugh. We love that. Everyone in Scotland and Wales is happy that just England got took out. Doesn't matter if they're also hurting. English bastards finally got what was coming to them. To be fair, if there's one zombie that I don't want to have an interaction with, it's a Scottish zombie. You know, that's just 2 things that should never be mixed. They will be absolutely mental. The news broadcast also talks about how this infection is making people like really ill and also violent. So, you know, just making sure that Stephen really is on edge here. And then we hear a bang from behind Stephen, and this is where Stephen is greeted with the first actor that will be joining Stephen on his journey.
Sweat, saliva.
Where is he?
Who are you?
Huh? Who are you?
The owner.
Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck are you? Ma, who are you, love? Stay your bloody name, will you? Stay your name. Stormzy, innit? Gonna be rapping, innit? Sorry, guys. Hopefully the meteor strike does come and takes me out.
What colour wristband do you have?
Blue. What is going on?
Oh my god. I'm just so impressed that they've managed to convince him that this is actually real. I thought that he would wake up and be like, you know, like just kind of playing along with it, realizing that he's in an experiment. I'm fully convinced that he's fully convinced. Now, it's important to note that every single actor that Stephen will meet has an earpiece in their ear, and Derren will be like a direct line into their ear so that he can coach them through it, obviously because he's like an expert in hypnosis and manipulation as well. Now, the girl you've just heard speaking there is called Leona, and Derren says to Leona, like, how about you tell Stephen a little bit about your story so that Stephen cares for you? Again, remembering that this entire thing was set up so that Stephen will care for other people before himself more.
People started panicking, so I hid And when I came out, they'd all gone and locked the place up.
It's extra cruel putting a child there as well. I think she's 14 years old, because that just makes it even more believable as well. Just a child left by themselves and an adult has to make sure they're safe. This is the plotline of every single post-apocalyptic show ever. I guess this is the UK's answer to Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal and The Last of Us. You just have Stephen and Leona. Leona then tries to build this world out a little bit more by telling Stephen that all people who aren't infected have blue wristbands in the hospital, and everybody that was infected has red wristbands, so I imagine we're going to meet someone with a red wristband later on in this episode. Now, Leona is actually giving off a really good performance as well. Like, her mum just isn't, like, around, so she's left alone. She does look very vulnerable, and I definitely think she convinces Stephen that, you know, he needs to help her. And that is one of the goals that Derren has for Stephen, is that he's going to look after her throughout this entire experiment. Which, if he is a decent human being, hopefully he will do. I don't know why I'm now kind of like buying into the experiment and hoping Stephen becomes a good person.
Come with me. Come with me. We'll try and find a way out. Come on.
Yes! Come on! Big Steve! Right, can we stop this now? We've shown that he likes to help people. Let's just pull the plug on this. Okay, we can just cut this right now. Job done. He's a good person. He's changed. After this, they're both like searching for a way out, and they actually find a door which leads to like a big tent. And this then takes them into another building.
What do we do?
I don't know. I need to find my brother.
But even then, you know, the first thing he said was, I need to find my brother. That shows that he cares for his family. You know, he's not bothered about his own safety. He's willing to, like, go into the outside to, you know, make sure that his family are okay. I don't think we needed to put Stephen in this position, personally. Now, as they're trying to find a way out of this place, they come across someone that is the most horrifying person I have ever seen.
Is he okay?
Stop fucking knocking! Just do what everyone else does in a horror movie and just walk past and act like it's not there. What are you trying to poke the beast for? I know that you're an actor. Okay, I need to remember that. Sorry, if I was with a 14-year-old that was like trying to do that to some sort of infected being in an apocalypse, I'd be throwing her in. I'd be like, you want to be with him so much? Go on then, love, right? Lock the door. Hopefully you two get on. Guys, I think now would be a good time to mention that when it comes to horror films, I am the biggest scaredy cat ever. You know, I just jump at everything. Not a great horror film watcher. I love horror films, but I also hate them at the same time. Like, I watch them all the time, but it's painful for me. I think that's a toxic personality trait. I like being in pain, I guess. Just where I feel comfortable, you know? This is going to be tough for me. I know these are actors, but I know the people in horror films are actors as well, and it doesn't help me then. Oh, this is going to be horrific.
Clayton, run!
What, did you jump there? Oh god, what an absolute scaredy cat. No, you never catch me jumping at that. Oh, why was I? What? Oh, I got an electric shock just off how much energy I've got today, you know, guys. Like, the charisma is just oozing out of me. Sometimes I do that. Oh, I hate this already. I want to stop. Yeah, I don't think I would survive an apocalypse. I'd see one zombie and go, shit! What the? No! Stop it! Go away, zombie! Now, as they're trying to escape this person, they actually run through a door, which creates, like, an alarm going off, and this attracts loads more infected people.
Just keep going.
This is vile. Like, you've got to remember, this is in an enclosed space right now, but it's obviously like acres of land, so they're never really going to be able to escape it. It looks so real though, like genuinely. Now, as they're running away, an ambulance actually drives by and they're like screaming for help from them. Just quickly, if you haven't already, please do press the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the donuts over here, make this community as big as possible and hit 1 million one day. So if you want to help us on this journey, press the button. Honestly, bloody ambulance drive straight past. No respect. I'm surprised they haven't tried calling like 111 or, you know, just going on like Pharmacy Direct and ordering some like painkillers or anything, you know. Go to Tesco, get a comms. That might help.
Get that door locked!
But even then, you know, just the little things, like he got Leona in the ambulance before him. I feel like these little things straight away show that he is a caring person.
Hold on! Get up, you sons of bitches!
Look, have you seen the facial expressions on him? The bloke is in so much pain right now. I wonder, like, if the family watching this were actually like, I think we've talked a bit far here, actually. Yeah, I actually think we're really, really bad people. I've just put my son in a life-altering situation that is only going to make his life worse from here. Now, they finally get away from this swarm of zombies, and this is where Stephen meets the next actor in this apocalyptic universe. He's called Ian, and he is a paramedic who recently lost his wife. Now, Ian is hoping that his wife will find him one day, so he takes both Stephen and Leona back to his gated compound that other people are staying at. In this gated compound, he's also been helping other survivors to get better. But Ian does explain to Stephen that they all need to either go to Wales or Scotland to reach one of the safe points before they close the borders, otherwise they're going to get overrun. Now, Ian himself says that he's going to Scotland, and then he tells Stephen to go and have a look at the board that other survivors have left notes on. Now, it's also important to note that a lot of people have written messages on this board for like family members, in case family members come to this compound, just to make sure they know they're still alive.
Can you give us more about how you haven't found your mum?
I just want to see if he starts to look after you.
Do you think there'll be something from my mum?
Sorry, Leona, I don't think you're really guilt-tripping this man enough. Can you just tell him about your dead mother, please, just so he shows some sort of empathy? Remember, this guy is made of stone, people. We've got to really, really get this out of him. We will get there. We will change this man into a better person.
Until I find my mum, will you make sure I'm okay?
Sure.
Do you promise?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he's being nice here, but just to like play devil's advocate for a minute. I don't think looking after a young girl who has lost her mother makes you a nice person. I just think it makes you a human. You know, I don't necessarily think this makes you a caring person. If the world went back to normal, I think you probably would just slide back into your normal self. Like, everybody would do that, right? Like, you would have to be evil to not help a child that has lost their mother and is in an apocalyptic universe. Now, after this, Stephen does actually find a poster, which is a missing person poster with his face on it.
That's you. They're safe.
Guys, I'm bowing out now. If I was on the production of this, I think this would be where I would be like, look, this is too far. I didn't go to, uni and do me editing degree for this. I feel like, nah. Guys, not sitting well with us anymore. It was fun in the production meeting, but I didn't think we were actually gonna do it. Now, Stephen actually finds out that his family were heading to Wales, so obviously this is where Stephen's going to go, to one of the safe points. Now, obviously, remembering that Ian is going to Scotland, this means that he's going to have to part way with Ian and, go on his own journey with Leona.
So what are you thinking, guys? How are you thinking of getting there?
Take the van.
I need that van. Nice try, though.
Well, that's a pickle, isn't it, Ian? Guess we're gonna have to just eat you now. You're looking real tasty there, Ian. Right? Might be a little bit plain, but nothing, this carton of paprika can't fix. That's one thing that I really hope that I wouldn't do in an apocalypse, is like eat somebody. I don't know, you don't know. You could eat me, right? That would be horrific. Please don't do that. Remember all I've done for you, donuts, okay? If there is an apocalypse and, it occurs in Newcastle, any Newcastle donuts, please do not eat me. Like, please just walk past me if you are hungry. I would really appreciate that, okay? I tell you what, can we make a pact right now? I'll agree not to eat you if you agree not to eat me, okay? Thanks. Now that's sorted. Let's progress. There's going to be no eating people in the donut community, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Ian obviously isn't going to let Stephen take the van, not because, it's his van, because he's a paid actor and he wants Stephen to suffer. But he does suggest that Stephen could walk to Wales, which he says would take 2 days, but bearing in mind the borders are going to close very soon, so he might not make it in time. And also the little thing of all of the infected walking around. Ian also suggests that Stephen could use the radio that is located out of the compound, conveniently, and that Stephen could try and contact someone from Wales to, I don't know, get an Uber or something. Don't know how he's going to get help, but he apparently is trying to. Ian says himself that he hasn't used this radio outside of the compound because there's loads of infected around it, just kind of hogging the machine. I think there's a queue for the, the radio or something. But because Stephen really wants to see his family, obviously he's going to take the risk of going there.
If you encounter infected people, no contact at all, no touch, nothing. If you see them, you freeze, they will calm down again. Very, very tiny footsteps to get away.
Sorry, Ian? You sound like, you know your stuff. You've got like a Scottish accent, makes you kind of seem a bit tougher. But if a zombie, or many zombies are running towards me, if you think for 1 second that I'm going to do this, you've got another thing coming, son. I'm going to be sprinting the opposite direction. And what do you mean? No eye contact. What, did you think I was going to go out for food with them? Did you think I was going to do a dance with them? What do you mean, no eye contact? Of course I'm not going to make eye contact with the zombie. What happens if I do? Is it like Medusa? Am I going to turn to stone? Then I really will be safe because I'll be still. Sorry. Now, Ian actually agrees to take Stephen, near the radio broadcast outside of the compound in the back of the ambulance. And you can tell Stephen is clearly shiting himself, as you would be. What happens if you, knew one of the zombies while you're in stealth mode? Like you're walking past and you're like, fucking hell, it's Rich! Rich from the Barbers, you alright, son? How you doing? You alright? You infected? Shame about that, isn't it? Where am I going to get me skin fades from now? Good times. Good times, Rich. Go, run! Sorry, apologies for stopping this, but I would like to think that I wouldn't be a screaming zombie. I just think it's really icky. Every single apocalyptic movie or series, the zombies are always like, ah! I just think I'd be a nonchalant one. I just do. I just think that would be my personality as a zombie. I'd just be like, ah. I wouldn't want to piss people off too much. I'd be like, look, I'm infected, but I'm also nonchalant with it. I don't really care that I'm infected. You do your business, but I'm just going to be over here, just shivering and shit. Ian, you've just broke the one golden rule that you told Stephen not to do, was run when they come after you. Have you never seen Zombieland? Do you know what happens when you break your own rules? Everything goes tits up, man. Jesse Eisenberg told us that. Now, as you've seen, they do make it inside the building, but obviously they're not alone. Oh my god, is it pitch black? No! No! Ah! You alright? Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just looked in the mirror and realised just how beautiful I am. It just gave us a bit of a shock, Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that one.
I've been here 2 days, alright? I'm blue, alright? I've been in here. Who are you? I've been in here for 2 days. I'm clean. Alright, look at me.
I'm not convinced, sir. I think we're going to have to eat you to find out. That's just my response to everything. Oh, you've cut your finger. Gonna have to eat you, unfortunately. What, you lost in noughts and crosses? Yeah, but I grabbed the knife and fork. One thing I will say about this new character, I don't think his acting is the best. This is very GCSE. He's in the middle of an infected area, and he was clearly stressed meeting these two people that, are looking to kill him, and he still had time to fix his hair. I don't know, how has this guy still got a quiff 4 days into the apocalypse? That's one thing I'm gonna ask. Where is he finding the VO5 wax? Somehow in the middle of this infected area that he's been in for 4 days, he's still managed to do his morning routine. There would be some influencers, to be fair, that would do a get ready with me, in an apocalyptic universe. I imagine they would do that. Just a chance to really get the followers up. Now, this new guy is called Danny, and he actually finds the radio that Ian and Stephen were looking for, but he won't give the radio to Ian. Instead, Danny says that he wants to be allowed to come into the compound with both Ian and Stephen so that he's safe. And whilst all of this is going on, Derren is in Ian's earpiece, basically saying, let Stephen make the decision to show if he cares for this guy or not.
You want him with us?
I haven't got any water. I haven't got any food left.
You haven't got any water or any food, but you've still got a perfect quiff. Yeah, okay, mate. It's about priorities, that's what it's about. You shouldn't have been looking for the got-to-be hairspray. You should have been out looking for bread. Sounds like a you problem. I haven't got my hair done, and he's bald. So, we haven't... What's your excuse?
Can't leave him. Take him with us. Gonna have to. Yeah.
Eat him! Eat him!
You're lucky, he's a nice guy. I believe you here.
Hey, you're lucky he's a nice guy, eh? I would have ate the bones off you and made broth out of them. I don't know why I'm making the whole cannibal thing a character arc here. Apologies, guys. I don't actually eat people. Not on camera, at least. So, you know, if you see me in the street and, you know, ask for a photo or a conversation, just know there's always a chance. After this, the three of them then try and escape the building and get back to the ambulance, but once they see the ambulance, they realise that it's been taken over by the infected. Conveniently. Mustn't have bought a ticket. You know, I paid the parking fine, right? They'll do that to you.
Okay, Ian, the ambulance is now out of action.
You're going to start to shut down now.
Fucking hell!
I mean, the acting is definitely getting weaker. Stephen is already convinced at this point, so, like, you don't really need to convince him even more. Luckily. Sorry, that's your reaction, just punching the ground 3 times to realising that you can't see your family again? Oh, God! That's a real kick in the balls, isn't it? Not gonna see me wife anymore. Oh, well, you know. Bit gutted. The 3 then walk back to the compound to see Leona waiting at the gates for them.
I don't understand. Where's the ambulance?
Don't even talk to me about the ambulance. God knows how I'm going to get to Scotland now.
I mean, you could walk, Ian. That's what you suggested to Stephen, wasn't it? Now, once they go inside, we get to see that Danny has a suspicious scratch on his arm.
What is that?
It's a scratch on through a window at the Comsmith.
That is not a scratch with glass. That's a scratch with fingernails.
No! I know!
This guy is just creased. I feel like they need a different actor. Like, this guy is just absolutely buckled whenever he's getting accused of anything. I don't know if that makes it more convincing because it's so bad.
You're out of here!
You can't just chuck him out there.
Bloody brain's going. I'm just going to, like, just leave me alone, all right?
This guy's acting, man. Aye, my bloody brain's gone, eh? Aye, just leave me alone, all right? Going to sleep now. Think that there's somebody that's infected in your compound and your response is to go to sleep? Good. Nice thinking, right? Really, you know, the safe and secure option here. Sorry, I think I'm too sarcastic to be in a zombie apocalypse. So now that Ian is in a huff, Stephen has to, like, kind of, you know, be the main person here and take control. So he decides to try and contact someone over the radio. Now, he does try for over an hour several times to try and contact someone, but nobody is on the other line responding. And whilst all this is going on, Derren actually says to Ian in his earpiece that he needs to record a video for his wife that he can show her one day, just to kind of prove to Stephen that Ian still wants to see his wife, like he hasn't given up hope. And later on that night, we actually see that someone is finally responding to their radio calls.
Oscar Zulu, come in. Do you read? Over.
This is back one here.
I feel so bad for Stephen. I know I keep saying this, but did you see the sheer joy on his face? This is the happiest I've seen him in this entire show, obviously. Now, the person speaking on the radio is Derren, and he basically asks what all their names are, and he also singles out Stephen.
Your mother, Jacqueline Brosnan?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Your family here are safe?
Yeah, I hear you.
This is so cruel. Do you hear me? Your family aren't dead. Not yet. You better get here quick, though. They are looking tasty. Stop with the cannibal jokes. Guys, if anybody comments that I am a cannibal, I'm gonna eat you to prove you're wrong. Okay? Derren then tells the group that they're going to send a helicopter at 4 p.m. tomorrow to basically come and save them and take them to the safe point. And everyone obviously is buzzing. Now, this obviously would be a very sweet moment if this wasn't an elaborate social experiment. One thing I will say, though, is even though I do know it is an experiment, I am invested in the storyline. I will give the production crew the credit. This is really, really good from a production standpoint. It's amazing, the storyline and everything. This could be an actual, like, movie. It's also important to bear in mind that all of this has happened within 24 hours. Like, this is one of the worst 24 hours Stephen will ever have in his life. Arguably the worst. Stephen woke up, he realised he was in an apocalypse, adopted a teenage girl, ran away from zombies, became besties with Ian, ran away from zombies again, decided to save Daddy, and found his family is alive. Oh yes, and it's his birthday. Out of all the days to choose to do this, they chose his bloody birthday. Nice one, Derren. Best birthday present ever. It's like a real life video game, isn't it? Right? This is class. Like, why do you need an apocalypse simulator when you can just throw someone their own apocalypse? Oh god, Darren's so sweet. Hopefully I get something for Christmas this year off him. Hopefully I don't, by the way. Don't want to put that out there. It's now the next morning and Stephen is taking charge of the group by saying that they should, like, spell SOS in the compound so that when the helicopter comes, it's, like, easily identifiable, which is, like, a really good idea if this was real. So this is what the group decide to work on, and we get to about 2 hours before the helicopter is scheduled to come. But at this point, the group are greeted by somebody at the gate.
Come on, Stephen, come with me. You just
stay back. What are you doing?
Ian!
Stay up!
Ian!
Oh my God, no.
I think they're doing too much now. I think they're doing too much. Obviously, this is going to turn into a situation that Stephen is going to have to prove if he's like got empathy or something. But this is too good. You know, like out of everyone in the world, finally Ian's partner has found him in this compound in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. It seems too good to be true. Obviously, it's fake, but you know, I'm just thinking from Stephen's perspective.
Ian, I know you'd wait for me. No, don't come any closer.
Come on. What's the matter?
No! Not the red wristband of death. Oh, I love that she's got a red wristband, but still managed to keep the hat. You know, again, priorities. You've got to have a good fit in the apocalypse, right? If you're meeting people that you don't know for the first time. I don't want them to think that I'm not cool and not into, like, fashion. I want them to know that I'm different, okay? I want them to know that I could have possibly have had an Instagram Fits page when we weren't in an apocalypse.
This is my decision, okay? You've got to get them out of here. You're going to take them. You're going to get them out of here for me.
No, he's going to sacrifice himself. You can't. Not me. Not Hermione. You. Ian, you can't do this, fella.
They need you more than I need you.
This bloke in the back, man. Sorry, not trying to be harsh, but what is this acting? It's just so obvious, just... Like, what are we doing? Posing for a YouTube thumbnail? To be fair, banging reaction video thumbnail right now.
You get on the helicopter, do you hear me? You've got to do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Honestly, he doesn't seem that arsed. Like, I think Ian was trying to make him cry with this, like, you know, Oscar-worthy performance. But I definitely think Stephen's like, you're just an idiot, mate. Like, genuinely, like, you're just going to die right now. What is this meant to achieve, this moment? See, like, looking at him here, is this like the face of someone that is, you know, upset, confused, or is it the face of someone that's realizing that this might not actually be true? For the storyline, I don't think this really, like, did anything. Like, yes, it was dramatic, but if the whole entire scope of this social experiment is to make Stephen, like, you know, care about people, I don't really know how this kind of works towards that personally. And maybe might not just be saying this if anyone in the comments thinks that this was a good employment within the program. I'm willing to hear you out, but I don't know. I think the risk of doing this move for the fact that Stephen could realize this is not true was too much for the actual reward you get from it. Now, Derren, after this, says to both Danny and Leona in their earpieces that they should kind of stand back a little bit and see if Stephen takes control.
We need to open space for this helicopter to land. Right, you with me, Danny? You all right? Can't you need to be strong too, all right?
All right. Right.
So I guess this does prove that, you know, the guy can have responsibility, you know? Is this what it was meant to do? Kind of like take away the alpha of the group, the one that's meant to protect everyone, so that Stephen has to step up and be the protector. And you see that Stephen does step up, like he continues to prepare for the helicopter arriving.
Does that mean Ian's infected now?
Ian's gone. Ian's gone now.
So who's in charge now?
Me, I guess.
I stood up when nobody else would. It's me, Stephen. I guess you can say this is like a coming of age right now. It's almost like watching the Dune franchise in a way. I feel like I'm watching Timothée Chalamet, you know, become the leader that I thought he could be. This is exactly like that, by the way. Now we get to a point where it's 20 minutes before the helicopter is going to arrive, and Stephen actually suggests to Leona that she should make a video that she can leave behind in case her mother comes to the compound. And at this point, I definitely think that Stephen is convinced that it is an apocalypse, because Leona is really giving like a heartfelt message to her mother. She's saying how Stephen has basically saved her life, and you can see on his face he's getting visibly upset over this. Like, this must be scrambling his head so much. And weirdly, Derren like delays the helicopter coming so that it's late, so that Stephen has more time to ponder over everything.
Just can't wait to get back and see my family and then start over, I guess, and realise it's just wasting the life you got.
At this point, I am thinking, like, is this actually going to change his perspective on the world? It definitely has to change you. We're going to see at the end of this video where Stephen is today and what he's doing and the effect that this show had on him, but I don't know, like, if you find out that it was fake all along, is that just going to, like, kill the perspective change? I definitely think you can go one of two ways. Now, at this point, everything is, like, turned upside down as an alarm is going off around the compound. As Stephen realises that the infected have managed to breach the first fence and are blocking the gates.
Holy shit!
Can they not just let let this guy have a break, man? Do we need to throw every curveball impossible? The guy's learned his lesson, okay? He's going to be a better person. He's going to walk into the sitting room and not change the channel now. Is that what you wanted? Can we just stop torturing this man? And conveniently enough, at this point, the helicopter does arrive, but it parks outside of the compound for some unknown reason. Oh yeah, let's park at the place where this guy can get killed before coming on the helicopter, even though we've travelled hours to get here, specifically to save these people. That makes sense. Worst rescue service ever. That's like you breaking down on the side of the motorway and the AA coming a mile away from you and you need to like take your car to the van. There's no bloody point, man. It's not the premium service I booked. What am I paying the membership for?
One of us can distract them there, we can run past them, and then whoever's left has to, like, run round past them.
I'd be like, good idea, Danny. You do that. You obviously have this idea, so you know what to do best. You distract. You be the distraction. We'll go away. If I'm in a zombie apocalypse and it's me, another bloke, and a child that I have been looking after from the start, the other bloke can do that if that's his suggestion. I'm not leaving this child with a bloke that I think could possibly be infected that's got a weird scratch on his arm. I'm not sacrificing myself for that guy. Call me selfish, that's fine. But Stephen actually does go over to the zombies to, you know, distract them so the other two can run to the helicopter. But Derren actually tells Leona that he wants her to hide in some sort of gate because she's too scared. So, like, Derren isn't satisfied with Stephen, like, sacrificing himself. He wants to push him further. And then we see Danny run onto the helicopter without Leona, obviously. So Stephen is, like, looking around, shouting her name to make sure that she gets to safety. I've just remembered everyone's an actor here, apart from him. I was thinking he was in a real zombie apocalypse there. He's not.
Leona, he can't...
You can see he clearly cares about this girl. Can we just stop this now? Derren then doesn't tell Leona to come and find Stephen. He says that Leona should run back inside the compound so that Stephen can see her, but he still has to go and help her. And interestingly, Stephen does take the decision to run into the compound again rather than going to the helicopter. So this shows that he's willing to sacrifice his own safety to help this girl.
Can you not run? Can you not go for it?
Can't we just wait until they've gone?
There's no time, the helicopter's gonna go.
You can hear the sheer like emotion in his voice right now, realizing that he's going to die here. The thing that makes this extra intense is he knows that if he gets on the helicopter, his entire family are like there waiting for him wherever they're gonna get taken to. This is so intense. Honestly, like after this, I'll be surprised if this man doesn't have like years of therapy to get over this. Derren then says to Leona, like, make Stephen run to the helicopter and make the helicopter like come in the compound to save Leona because for some reason she can't just go with him.
You can run and get them to land in here. If I stay here, I'll lock myself in, I'll be safe. If you just go to the chopper, you can get them to land here.
I'm just so confused why the helicopter didn't come in the compound in the first place. The absolute twats. Like, realistically, if he goes over and says, like, can you go inside the compound, please? They're not going to do it because, you know, there was an original reason why they didn't do that in the first place. Unless they're an idiot, surely you would think, let's park inside the secure base, not outside of it where all the zombies are. Now, Stephen actually agrees to Leona's plan and runs through all of the infected to get to the helicopter.
Leona's still inside! Hang on, what? Leona's still inside! She went...
I can't believe what I'm watching right now. Genuinely, I'm like gobsmacked. Surely, we've proven that this man is a good man now. You know, yes, he has his flaws. He's a 21-year-old, okay? He hasn't got much responsibility yet. He doesn't appreciate some things that he probably should. But let's stop this now. This is nonsense.
I'm not that guy who goes back. I can't do it, alright? You are. I just don't have a heart. And you do.
One thing I do want to kind of know right now is this is the first real time there's been like a camera in his face. So I wonder if he just thinks that, like, you know, this rescue team are filming this for some reason, like, you know, they might need it. Like, they must have convinced him that there's a reason there's a camera here. Or is it like a hidden camera? It's moving, so clearly someone is holding it or it's attached to someone's body, which is kind of making me think, like, why is he not kind of questioning this? But also, he's so high on adrenaline that he's probably not even thinking about a camera being there right now. Now, after this, Stephen actually runs back into the compound and the helicopter leaves, so he chooses to stay with Leona rather than getting to safety. safety. And again, at this point, they don't stop the experiment. Instead, when Stephen is running back past the infected, Derren tells them to go mental. What is going on? If you think you're having a bad 24 hours, right, just remember it's not as bad as Stephen's. Could be worse. You could be in a fake zombie apocalypse. But also, okay, I'm questioning everything now. Because obviously we know it's a TV show. We know there needs to be cameras here. But there's clearly someone holding this camera. You know, it's shaky. It's being handheld. It's not a hidden camera that's stationary. So what does he think is happening here? Why does he think that people have got the cameras? This is making me like second guess everything. Now at this point, Stephen has pretty much given up on ever seeing his family ever again. So he records a video so that if he does die here, you know, if they do come to this compound later on, they can watch the video he's left for them.
I just want my mum to know that I love her. I just mean say love. I absolutely love you.
Stephen, I wouldn't. Personally, my mother did this to me. Nah, she'd be gone. She'd be gone. I wouldn't be like, oh, Mum, I really appreciate you doing that for us, you know, just making us become an adult, right? Mother, you're always looking out for us, aren't you? I'd be like, you can piss right off.
Barry used to beat the crap out of me when I was younger, but
just casually exposing his brothers, just domestic violence there. Gotta get it in, make sure everyone knows. Yeah, I just feel really uneasy watching this. I can't like describe the feeling. Like, I just feel really sad for Stephen that he's been put into this position. Yes, the family have got what they want. They feel appreciated now, but at what cost? We then see Stephen like trying to comfort Leona, even though, you know, you can tell that he's like shiting himself, but he's just trying to make sure that he's acting okay for her. And they both decide collectively that their only kind of way to get to safety is to walk to Wales before they close their borders.
Maybe 2 days.
Do you think we'll need a weapon?
You got me in them?
I'm the biggest weapon round here, love. Okay. Now, Derren nicely has actually cleared all the infected out the compound so they're able to leave freely. Sorry, I was just thinking there. Wait, so there's just a mobile phone that's ringing in this apocalyptic universe? That's going to kill it? I think this is where it ends. Stupid. Who's the weapon now?
Hello?
This is awful. I think I would faint as well, to be fair. You know, like the adrenaline rush, not like eating much for 24 hours, just, you know, you thought you were going to see the killers. And in fact, you're actually seeing killers. I've got a question. Would you rather be in a fake zombie apocalypse for 24 hours, guys, or have to listen to Mr. Brightside for 24 hours on repeat? Let me know in the comments your answer to that. I choose death. Now, after this, Derren then takes Stephen back home and puts him to bed. Sorry, are we like meant to act like this is a happy ending? Like, oh, he was changed, he was fixed, praise Derren Brown. No, this is awful. Like, this is like the most toxic mother and toxic family I've ever seen. You should not be hugging these people. These people are foes, not friends.
Well, it was just some really, really intense dream. When I saw them, it was just the biggest relief.
It's also important to note at this point that the family don't realise like the extent of what Stephen has had to go through, because obviously they wouldn't have seen the footage yet. So I doubt they actually know that he's been through a living hell the past day. Also, surely you would know that this wasn't a really intense dream. I feel like if you're in a dream that is like obviously a nightmare, you kind of realise eventually that, oh, this is okay, and then you wake up. But if you were awake, surely you could just like hit your head or something and realise like, oh no, this is actually real life. Now, after Stephen hugs his family, Stephen's mother actually tells him to go in the sitting room, and this is where Derren Brown is sitting. Sorry. If I walk into my sitting room after going through all of this and Derren Brown is there, I'm not looking at him and give him a hug. I'm looking at him and punching him square in the nose. I feel like I deserve that at least. Or a headbutt, something to inflict some sort of pain. Just in like the heat of the moment, I feel like I would just have to do that. I don't know why. Like, I'm not a violent person, but if he'd put me through this, I feel like he at least deserves a punch. Stephen weirdly says that, you know, when he saw Derren for the first time, he was actually happy because he realised that it wasn't some sort of intense dream and that all of the emotions he was feeling were real.
And the point of it, every second of it, was to let you find those changes. It's still you, it's just the best possible Stephen Brosnan.
Well, as you can see, you know, happy man, he's fixed. As you can see on his face, this is the face of a man that can now, you know, enjoy every single day of his life. Great job, Derren. This was the only way that we could have accomplished this in the healthiest way possible. We then get to see Stephen arrive at his 22nd birthday party, and he's surrounded by all his family, his friends, and all of the actors that he met in the apocalypse. Remember, this all happened on his birthday. His birthday! Can you imagine when he goes in the barbers or something, or, you know, he just meets up with, like, friends that didn't know this was happening, and they're like, oh, what you do for your birthday? Anything? Nah, not really. Nah. Nothing of note. Nah.
It's Leanna, isn't it? Yeah. Jordan, your real name.
I don't know. Like, I don't want these people at my birthday party. Like, I don't know, call me like an unempathetic person. I don't care. These people tricked me. Why are you now at my birthday eating my cake? Put the cake down, Leonie or Jordan or whatever you're called. I saved your life and this is what I get in return, is it?
So how old are you then?
22. I'm actually older than you.
Another curveball. We then get to see an update 28 days later, which kind of had me shook because I was thinking, like, is that on purpose? Like, you know, the 28 days later movie would have been out at this point with Cillian Murphy. That's obviously a huge movie franchise that is set in a post-apocalyptic world. Or have they conveniently just done it 28 days later because they thought that was a good time frame?
It's been a month since your little adventures.
Weird. I've actually been in this pub. I think this is called the Italian Greyhound in London, and I went there because I have an Italian Greyhound. That is so weird. Checking I'm not getting spied on right now, guys, just in case this is some sort of social experiment. They're basically pretending that I'm a YouTuber to make me some sort of, I don't know, influencer on the people. Hopefully this is real. I really like doing this. Now, Stephen does say in this that this experiment has actually changed his life. He realised that he was wasting his life away. He didn't appreciate people, and he's like taking active steps to kind of avoid being like that now. He also says he feels a lot more like engaged and confident within just himself, and he's also a lot closer with his family now, which he says feels amazing.
Pleased that it's all over?
Pleased, happy, relieved.
Excellent. That you're safe?
Yes, safe, yeah.
Oh no! What? He's still in it! Oh, bastards! Now that is a plot twist. Imagine he was actually still in it. Oh, nah. Maybe there's going to be a prequel, a sequel. Maybe this will be an entire franchise. Hopefully not. I feel like everyone's learned their lesson after this. And that actually is the end of the entire documentary, Donuts. I do want to ask you a question. What do you think that you would be like in this scenario? Do you think you would believe it first, or do you think that you would kind of work it out? Bearing in mind, like, the time frame that this took place in 2012, when everyone was talking about the end of the world. I also don't think after finishing this, I would be grateful. I think I would be more annoyed. I don't know. I guess you would have to go through it to really know. But I just feel like this would be more trauma on top of the trauma I've already got that I just don't need. One thing I will say though, like, you know, obviously Stephen will be like hypersensitive to anything like this kind of being talked about in the real world now. Can you imagine his feelings when COVID was happening? He would have been like, don't worry, family. I've got this, okay? People getting infected and stuff. I know what to do. We've got to walk to Wales. Now, obviously, I thought it would be really interesting if I could find out where Stephen is today and find out, like, you know, what is he doing? Like, what impact has this show had on him long term? Now, 14 years after filming this, Stephen actually has his own career now, and I believe he's self-employed, working for his own company, working for himself. I've got his website here called StephenBrosnan.com, and it's basically marketed on the homepage saying Stephen Brosnan, apocalypse survivor to personal growth and resilience expert, which I find so fascinating because clearly this situation has had such an impact on his life that he's made his career centered around, I guess, helping other people like grow and also being more resilient. Now, honestly, I feel like this is fair because if you want to be like more resilient, going to someone that thought they were in a zombie apocalypse and survived it, you're probably going to get some good advice on how to stay strong. There's a little about me section where he says, hi, I'm Stephen Brosnan, an apocalypse survivor turned personal growth and resilience expert, you may recognise me from my life-changing experience on Derren Brown's Apocalypse, where I learned firsthand the power of the human spirit and adaptability in the face of immense challenges. Since then, I've dedicated my life to helping others unlock their potential and overcome their own obstacles. With over a decade of experience working with vulnerable individuals, I've gained invaluable insight into understanding human behaviour and the strategies that help us grow in the face of adversity. I'm passionate about empowering others to develop a growth mindset, overcoming self-limiting beliefs, and cultivate resilience through my personal coaching services and workshop. I offer practical tools and techniques to help you live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Join me on this journey of personal growth and transformation, and let's discover the power within you to overcome anything challenging life may throw at you. Oh my good God. This is incredible, because I was really worried that this would impact him in a negative way, but clearly this has actually changed his life. Now, you can actually book a one-to-one call with him that lasts an hour. Like, I can literally book it for today. Still today. It's 6:30 and I can book one at 7. This guy is on it. There's also an About Me section which says that he got married and he became a father as well. He does have an Instagram page, but he is on private, so obviously we can't like kind of dive deep into that. Clearly he doesn't want to live his life really online. But one thing I think this definitely proves is that this was completely real for Stephen. You know, he wasn't like kind of taking part in this as like another actor and it was all kind of some sort of orchestrated thing that was actually fake. Obviously the apocalypse was fake, but it was very real for Stephen. And you know, he clearly 14 years later is still feeling the effects of it and has overcome all of the trauma that I guess it came with, which is really nice to see, because I was really worried that he was going to go off the edge possibly. But yeah, Donut, hopefully you enjoyed my coverage of this. This was one of my like most favourable videos to ever do. It was so interesting and I definitely think we should do more of this. So if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments, and also drop a like on this video. It does let me know that you enjoyed it. Now, if you do want to watch another video from me, I covered a wife swap episode that ended in divorce and is one of the wildest wife swap episodes they ever aired. So go watch that. I'll see you over there. Bye bye.